What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here, back again with another holiday horror review. And this is yet another Thanksgiving horror film. This is 2019's Pilgrim, which I just watched on Hulu. It is part of their Into the Dark series. I'm not sure if they have monthly installments of that, but they've got quite a few films, including some other films that look like they are oriented around the holidays. Maybe a New Year's one called New Year, New You. And then there was a Christmas themed one. That film was called A Nasty Piece of Work, and I think I absolutely have to watch that in honor of the late Julian Sands. And it looks like a lot of these films are a little bit under an hour and a half, clocking in about, an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes long. And basically, Pilgrim was directed by Marcus Dunstan, who directed The Collector and The Collection, and it's a very well made film. Now, having seen Eli Roth's Thanksgiving a few days ago, I'm almost kind of in a state of euphoria about how good of a slasher that was. I had to sort of readjust myself as I started to watch this film. This is a much different type of film, but this film does accomplish, I think, what it wanted to do. This is more of a psychological horror. Is there a little bit of gore, maybe a little bit of torture? It's almost like a slow burn home invasion film. The people are invited in, but the family does lose control, which reminds me of a great underrated independent Christmas horror film that I reviewed last year called Night Visitors, which I don't believe is available on YouTube now. And the film revolves around a few families, including our main family, that want to experience a more authentic Thanksgiving as a way of some family bonding time and, as an effort towards sort of getting back to, I don't know, I guess like the morals of the time or something like that. And much to the chagrin of their children, including our main character, Cody, who's played very well by Rain Edwards. So she gets annoyed that her father and her stepmother are so, gung-ho about this. Dad's always talking about family time, but he's got his tablet at the dining room table checking the stock reports and stuff. And mom is just like too enthusiastic, and she kind of gets worn out. She's actually biracial, so Thanksgiving hits a little bit differently for her. She's not, terribly enthused about it. And her boyfriend's mom is doing the same thing with a few other Pilgrim reenactors. And by the end of the movie, there's about 15 of these people around and basically imposing their will on the family. The head Pilgrim guy says something along the lines of gratitude is on the menu. So he's got this bizarre code of morals he's trying to impose on them, and he's pulling Cody's younger brother, sweet kid, nice kid, innocent kid, pulling him aside and giving him candy, and she kind of catches him like teaching him some weird things, and she's the only one at first that's sort of getting creeped out by this, and it basically just details how this sort of almost like a cult sort of takes over, and this is not a slasher, this is not a gory film, although there's a little bit of that. They have some interesting methods, and there's some really clever things done towards the end of the film. It's just kind of funny the way they the young lady walks into the backyard, and they've got a shed constructed, and that's like the home base that they're operating out of, and they're building like a bonfire in the backyard, and all of a sudden there's a few more of them, and there's like one giant guy who's like, working on some kind of a machine, not a machine, but like a device made out of wood, which is kind of comes into play in a horrifying way later in the film. And the family just kind of like loses control, and it's basically told through the eyes of this young lady who just sees it a little more clearly than her parents. And it's a well-made film. I do recommend it. Check it out on Hulu. Go in open-minded. It's a lower budgeted film. I think it's well acted by everybody involved, but it's not a slasher. It's a much different type of film. I think it really accomplished everything that it wanted to accomplish. I'm going to check out more of these Hulu Into the Dark series films for sure. And I'm going to also see if I can check out Blood Rage. I've never seen it before. The sort of classic Thanksgiving slasher. So I'll see if I can squeeze that in before the holiday. If not, there's always next year. But thanks a lot, guys, for hanging in there. Have you seen this film and Pilgrim? And are you interested in seeing it? And are you aware of this Into the Dark series on Hulu? Do you have a favorite film in the series, let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Oh, by the way, let me give credit to two people who kind of told me about this film. The first one was Mr. Bones. Follow him on YouTube, guys. He had a series called Hulu Wicked, where he gave like a weekly wrap up of the horror films that he watched in October. He was the first one to let me know about this, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then I saw the other day that on her Instagram page, Awesomeness Prime had a little an entry, a post about the film, and she seemed to give it a positive review. So she kind of jogged my memory, and that's the reason I watched it. So check out Mr. Bones on YouTube and Awesomeness Prime on Instagram, and I will check you guys later.
They say we break the wishbone.
1, 2, 3. I can hardly wait. Me too.